Welcome to BERGHAUS Survivor. Today I have the Cyclops 1 Crusader by BERGHAUS. It's a car boot find. I'll tell you all about it in a minute. But how does it compare to the modern day PLCE Bergen that we all know and love? What are the differences? How does it feel on your back? What does it feel like to carry? And I have much of the same kit on the inside as well, whether that's a sleeping bag, a bivvy, whatever you like. The kit I've got in here is my run fast kit. It has to be light, quick to take down and set up. And the BERGHAUS here does a great job of carrying all this. Also features its own unique design of buckle on the hip belt. And the buckles to get into the actual pack are very different as well. The BERGHAUS own brand buckles. To release the hip belt, I just pull like that and it's off. There is a right and a wrong way to undo the hip belt, and I'll go over how this works in a few minutes. The big question, do I prefer this over my PLCE Infantry Bergen? With it being the run light system, I'm well under 9 kilos how I've got it now. And I have just the bare commodities for a bit of overnight comfort. Good sleeping bag, a bivvy bag and a roll pad. It's missing its side rocket pockets, but I have seen some online for just £5 for a pair. I've seen an identical version to this Cyclops Crusader one at £56, and the guy on the car boot wanted 20 quid. After I walked around a bit and came back to it, he knocked that down to 15 quid. 15 quid pack, £5 for two PLCE rocket pockets. That's 20 quid, and I've seen them for sale for 56, so a bargain. Let's get into the pack and have a look and see how these buckles work here. They're quite different to anything else you've seen on PLCE Bergen. They're meant to be quick release, one-handed operation for cold weather. So if you're on cold weather operations or field tasks, just squeeze, push down, and that should be released, and there it is, done in real time. Let's loosen these off. Let's work along the outside of the pack. Unlike the PLCE, there's no daisy webbing on the side here where the rocket pockets go. You got some on the front here. You got a small daisy loop there, a larger one, little one at the bottom, and a smaller one here. Some opportunity there to hang carabiners or bungee cords to put something on the back. Coming to the side of the BERGHAUS, we have the zippers just like any other PLCE Bergen to put the rocket pockets on. These will be very familiar to you as well. The load compression straps to get the pack slimmer. I didn't think there was going to be a problem with putting my ordinary PLCE side rocket pockets onto the BERGHAUS, but they don't fit. So I do really need the actual brand BERGHAUS rocket pockets to go on this pack, and the only ones I've seen were for the Cyclops Mark II, and I don't know if they're going to go on this, whether the zip design is different again. I really can't find that information out for you, but I do know the infantry PLCE rocket pockets do not fit onto this. On the outside of the pack are the grab handles. There's one at the front here, and there's one where your shoulder straps are here. So in an extreme event that two people are carrying very heavy load in here, you just grab one handle each like that, and it's handy for evacuation. Bit more about the brand of BERGHAUS. Berg meaning mountain, house meaning house. German words meaning mountain house, but it's a British company. I thought it was a German company just because it was called BERGHAUS, but they're on Tyne and we're there. I think they've sold the company on since, but at the time this was made, it's a very British pack, British made. On the back you have your grab handle loop at the top of the shoulder straps. There's no additional padding, and if you haven't got that additional padding on your British PLCE Bergen, you'll know it's not very nice on your back. I mean, the PLCE Bergen is awesome, it carries a lot of weight, but there's no consideration for the poor sod who has to carry it. So I switched identical content over from my British PLCE to this, exactly the same components, and boy, it carries amazing. There's a lot of comfort in this, far more comfort than the British PLCE Bergen. It's said to be 90 litres this. That'll be 90 litres up to the snow hood, and the lid isn't free floating either, so you can kind of adjust it. I haven't bothered adjusting the back of the hood here, but to stop it falling forward like that, if you have some weight in it, you just use these straps here. Like I said, I haven't messed about with mine yet, but I will. Pretty regular load lifters, about 4 inches. So not amazing, but it carries pretty well. Opportunity to extend that lift with another strap there. Same kind of opening on this top hood that we saw with the one-handed operation buttles, which are unique to BERGHAUS. And on mine, I've got my roll pad. I'm just going to get my knees on this. That's better. A lot of it will be familiar to you if you have the British PLCE Bergen. There's a top hood here for whatever you want to put in. I would really recommend not putting weight into this. It's tempting, but I wouldn't. Anything heavy, get in the pack or on side rocket pockets, but I haven't got any. The zip on the Bergen is on the side, so instead of it being there, it's there. On the BERGHAUS, it is on the front. And in mine, I have my basher. Again, I'm just carrying my water in today on an LRRP. If I did have the PLCE side pockets, I would put dry gear in one side perhaps, and my wet gear in the other, or food. But there is room in here for a complete dry set of clothing, even a lightweight smock, fleece jumper, wool jumper perhaps. I'll leave that up to you. Just one set of dry clothing, so it's not full. And I have 90 litres here. 2 10-litre side pockets brings that to 110. The difference in style to the PLCE Bergen is this is more like a ruck. It's narrow, it's long. A lot of lads in the British forces don't like that because it interferes with the webbing. But let's face it, I've got this off carboot and I'm using it for camping, so I won't have things like the webbing. I could do, in this occasion I'm not. Tent pegs. The chunky ones I use for my Dutch bivvy. There's the Dutch bivvy poles, and get one out. And these hollow aluminium, pretty light, loose filled in the top. I have a bivvy bag. This one here is a Dutch Army hoop bivvy. I could get a lot lighter, that's 1300 grams, and just a normal bivvy 800 grams. So I can save half a kilo just by switching that out. But it is my favourite. I don't mind carrying it. And provided you don't overpack, you still have the ability to carry some of the bigger, bulkier parts of surplus. That's your sleeping bag, a bivvy bag, and as you saw, my basher and my lightweight roll pad. And I've got a really cosy system for the night without overdoing it. I think I'll have a brew now actually, but as I said, I haven't got the side pockets. Although I have got room for a brew kit in, I've got everything I need on me. Brew cup with brew gear in there. I don't always need the actual burner either, I just need the fuel from it, but I will use the burner on this occasion. Brand new box of Hexy, don't know what kind of condition it's in, but I'm going to just boil some water. Although it doesn't have much back cushioning, boy it is comfortable. And my PLCE infantry Bergen is not comfy at all. I've got about 5 Bergens and I've modified 4 of them, and I'll sell a couple of them. But not comfy. This with the same components from the British PLCE Bergen, amazing, amazing. There's no discomfort on my back whatsoever, or my shoulders, or my hips. So no lactic acid build up either on my legs. So comfort all the way. So can I find another advantage of using this particular vintage Bergen over what I've already got? I can find a massive advantage over this BERGHAUS. Empty, it is 2.3 kilos, and my Brandit Aviator is 3 kilos. I don't think it's going to be a Cordura, I think it's a cotton canvas. And when the Army actually commissioned these to be made for the British Army, I don't know how many they made. It's not that many, but they did it in this, which is a DPM. I mean, that's woodland, but they did it in the old camo. I'm not too sure which model BERGHAUS did for the British Army, whether it was the Cyclops Crusader, this one, or the Ruck. One of the first civilian Bergens was the Vulcan, so it had a lot better back padding, hip padding, so they can be used both by military application and civilian application. So to gain a little more comfort, I put this up against the tree, hold on to the top, get my foot on it and start bending it. Get that frame, because it's metal on the inside, you can kick it and it should mould to your back. I have a good size sleeping bag in mind, although mine is in a big old dry sack here. If it's not raining, I wouldn't even bother, because packing like this with a pack liner does take up a little bit of room. So one lightweight bag and the other component to it is the heavier winter one. You can marry it up to whatever temperatures are current to you. Brand new, bought another one because I like them so much. Zips on brilliant on these, 25-30 quid. I don't mind putting a better zip on. So that holds 2-part sleeping bag, a bivvy, a rain canopy above me in the form of my basher. Although I've got 2 layers of Pertex here against the wind, I do have a bivvy, and that's more just to keep the critters off me, and you don't want to wake up in the morning with slugs all over your sleeping bag. But the point is that this pack does a lot. It holds a lot, it's comfortable, it's light. A thing that we have come to not expect really from Bergens. We know they're heavy. My bivvy bag, get it all pushed down to the bottom. I've used about 2/3, so I still have 1/3 to go, and a little extra with the snow collar there. It won't tighten up a hell of a lot because the cord that runs through this snow collar has been stitched. Somebody else commented they have a bivvy bag hood like that, and this section of the bivvy bag hood doesn't close down over the face. We'll check if this stitching here, as you can see, they've stitched into the actual string itself that runs through. It's the only flaw in its design really. Other than that, it is perfect. There's a lot going for this pack. Lightweight, I couldn't believe it, 2.3 kilos. Even my civilian pack of a similar size, 3 kilos. And I'm guessing that that is done just by not using a Cordura fabric, but instead a cotton canvas. I have lightweight camping equipment in a heavy Bergen. It's just not logical for me. So I put my lightweight camping kit in a civilian pack, and like I said, that Branded Aviator is amazing. But 3 kilos and 75 denier polyester. This lighter and stronger. There's enough room left over in there once it's all squashed down, as you saw, for a change of dry gear. Your jumper, trousers, socks, just one set of clothing. Even without the 2 rocket pockets, I could put my waterproofs just on top and just bring the lid over. Shame it's not a floating lid, but that is easily remedied because they're easy to modify. So what do I make of these one-handed operation buttles? If I have mittens on, gloves, cold fingers, like I said before, squeeze together, pull, you're in. Again, click in, should be one-handed operation, click back in, and my roll pad is on top. Well, of course you can put your roll pad down the side using the expansion straps. And I've just found my weigh scale, so I'm going to take everything out of the pack and weigh it off. Empty. Feels pretty light so far. 2.3 kilos. 5 exactly. £5. 2.3 kilos. Blown away. Blown away. The modern BERGHAUS upgrades Mark II, Mark III obviously have better padding. I'm sure there are lots of advantages to having the Vulcan or the Ruck, but I had no choice in the matter. This is a car boot find. I either bought it or I didn't. Like I said, started off 20, went round the car boot, came back, saw it for 15. I knew I liked it, I knew I wanted it, and I am glad I've got it as well. It's not the best place to store a basher on this top hood. You want to try and keep the weight out of it as much as you can, really. It's only designed for a pack cover, and I was kind of thinking of putting my sundries in this top pocket, such as a small first aid, a wash kit, illumination, a fire kit. On the inside of the pack, at the very top, is a zipped pocket here. Not big enough for a water bladder or anything. Get my hand in there and put whatever I need in. I could tuck that down into the pack like that and sit it behind the sleeping bag and my clothing, or leave it upright and over to make a little bit more rain protection. So if you ever wanted to know just how good a product BERGHAUS is, especially as a comparison to the British Infantry PLCE Bergen, these are amazing. A lot more comfortable to carry, hell of a lot lighter. Lads don't like using these in the forces because they're more like a Ruck than a Bergen. They're long and narrow, doesn't allow a lot of room for the webbing to ride underneath. Camping, fishing, photography, your hobbyist, same quality of durability as any army pack, just with all the benefits like the weight saving. Now I thought my aviator pack from Brandit was pretty good. Now with my Brandit aviator, that carries quite bulky items, not necessarily heavy. I'm comfortable at 11.1 kilos with my Brandit aviator. After that, you need a Bergen. Sort of 18 kilos over PLCEs, brilliant, carry a lot of weight, not very comfortable. Up to now, so far in this, yeah, I've had 16.2 kilos, no problem. Fits nice on the back, comfortable to carry, feels half the weight of what is really in it. So if you've got 16 kilos, this will make it feel like 8 kilos. And that is all without any extra back comfort, such as a back cushion. It's just your back up against the pack on the ribs. You do that with a PLCE Bergen, you feel every little bump sticking in your back. I've nothing to compare this to, such as the BERGHAUS Rock or the BERGHAUS Vulcan, even the vintage ones. This is one of my first BERGHAUS. So far, if the rest of that product range is going to be anything like this vintage, I'm sold. And in mine, I just have a run fast system, and I think I only have 8.6 kilos with what you saw in. And as you saw, just loose feed it straight into this and away. The more I start adding to this, the run fast stability is gone. That is why I've got my pockets full with my smock, with my canteen, my cup and my hexi cooker. I've got food, water, ability to cook, shelter, insulation. Amazing pack. So hopefully you're going to see a lot more of this on some of the other overnight camps, maybe. I will certainly use it in lieu of the British PLCE, definitely. So as you can tell, I'm pretty impressed, and I'll leave it at that and leave them thoughts with you. The downsides, if you use webbing, this is more like a Ruck, and modern day soldiers would prefer a Bergen which is short and squat, but hell, not comfy. If you're like me, you like a bit of fishing, photography, wild camping, and you want all your heavy Arctic military surplus kit in a good bag, a good ruck, I would look towards BERGHAUS. This bit of waistband, don't put the webbing through, just the plastic buckle, pull tight, run light, run fast. Until next time, you take care of yourself and I'll see you out there. Happy trails.